Welcome back, everyone. I am Friar Tuck, and this is my epoch. This is Gnarly Beer Travel. We will call him Silver Spoon, and you will figure out why he is called Silver Spoon as time goes along. But you ever had a fart so bad that it makes your eyes water, and you're sitting there in a public place, and you're trying to blame it on somebody else other than you? Have you done that? Because I know I have.
Oh, I tell you.
You do it all the time. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about homeless denial. A lot of people, when they first become homeless, they kind of start denying it, and they start looking at it and go, oh, I'm not homeless, I'm this, I'm that. They think that their situation's unique, but, you know, a lot of things, and I keep trying to tell people, even though you think you're unique, even though you think that you know your situation is unique to you, in some ways it is, because you experienced it, you made different choices than other people made, but yet it puts you out here. But the thing is, when you become homeless, if you refuse to embrace it, it's gonna be much worse. So let's talk about Silver Spoon right here. Okay, so you have been denying. You've been denying that you're homeless. I'm a transient, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you refuse to acknowledge that you're homeless, but are you prepared for winter?
No.
No. Do you have a sleeping bag? No. Do you have a backpack that you could actually carry stuff in, so if you need to live out of it, you could do it?
No.
Okay, and when it comes to being prepared, like for the weather, are you prepared for it?
No again.
Okay, so all this time, I'm not homeless, I'm a transient. How did that thinking help you?
It doesn't sound very
It doesn't help, does it?
No.
Because here's the thing: if you're gonna become, when you reach this situation, whatever you want to call yourself if that makes you feel better about yourself. But the thing is, what you really need to really consider is that you need to embrace it. Okay. Now, to a lot of people, it's like, oh, I don't want to embrace homelessness because then that means I'm going to be out here forever. No, it doesn't. Okay. When your foot hurts, do you sit there and complain about it and all this other stuff, or do you embrace the fact that it hurts and then do something about it? Well, you know, being homeless is the same way. So whether you want to call yourself a transient or you want to call yourself this or that or the other, unless you embrace it, you're really going to have a hard time out here. For example, we'll talk about you, Silver Spoon, because you haven't prepared. Now you are bound to a shelter, are you not?
What? Yes.
You're bound to a shelter.
Yes.
If the shelter went away, could you survive tomorrow night? No.
Somehow.
You would figure out a way, but it would be miserable, right?
It would be very uncomfortable.
Of course, because you've got your survival instincts as being human, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so past those survival instincts, you would struggle.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you had all summer to prepare. You had me for the last 2 months telling you, dude, you better get ready, right?
True.
And have you?
No.
No, why? Because you're not homeless.
Well, because I was under the impression that I was going to have other options. But it's come to my attention that those options may not be there.
Okay, and we've talked about you going to what? New Mexico? Okay. Now, what are the deterrents for going to New Mexico?
Well, you're saying that the
no shelters?
The shelters aren't there.
Yeah, the shelter. You're lucky to find a shelter. Now, what did I tell you? What the best part about summer was? You can get into a shelter anytime you want.
Yeah,
okay. Now that winter's coming, now that it's cold outside, have you started noticing how the lines are getting longer? And how much faith do you have? How confident are you that you will be able to get a shelter every night until your 5 months runs out? Now that it's getting cold.
Well, I know that where I'm at right now, I probably need to be gone before November 1st.
Okay, so you know you need to be gone before November 1st. And why?
Because women and children are going to start being accepted in the shelter, as they should.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's going to lower the number of people that are going to be, the men that are going to be able to be received in that location.
Okay, so you've got the number of men, but they're opening it up to women. But do you know why they're opening it up to women?
Well, sure, because there's not enough places for women as it is.
Well, no, it's because of the temperature. See, November 1st, as you see, November 1st is when they say they're not even giving out winter clothes until November 1st. You can't get thermals, you can't get blankets, you can't get sleeping bags. Well, I mean, you can get blankets, but they're not going to be good. Everybody that I've talked to that does not have a decent sleeping bag, which is pretty much everybody out here, because all they give out is blankets, right? Could you stay warm in one of those blankets on a 40-degree night?
Doesn't sound possible.
Yeah, no. Oh, you missed the guy this morning. No. You saw him. The guy that was still shivering when we were at the window, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was still shivering, and it was what, about 9:30 in the morning. It's probably about 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had to sleep out and all that stuff, right?
Right.
Okay, so and this is what they give the homeless to survive. So it being out here, do you think you could survive very comfortably? At least staying warm at night so you can get a warm night's sleep.
Not under the circumstances right
Okay,
now.
so this is what I keep trying to explain to you guys. Just because you're homeless, it means that you're never going to get anything good. That's why, okay, go there, get this, go there, get this. I'm getting a sleeping bag from these guys. Well, one, I'd have to wait till November. So, and if I had blankets, man, I would, when it made it down to about 35 with wind chill the other night, I wouldn't have been able to survive. Okay, I would have survived, but I would have been very, very, very cold, probably on the verge of hypothermia because of where I was sleeping. Okay, so when it gets that cold, and they're not offering anything. This is a lot of the reason why the homeless migrate, because they don't actually get any decent resources. Okay, they're not getting any decent products. So you see a homeless person, you see them out there, you see them cold, and you say, here, let me give you a sleeping bag. Now here's the other conundrum. Because of living out here, and because most of these people, they don't get quality things, so they're destructive, they don't take care of it and stuff like that. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Tell me the destruction that you have seen by people taking things that are decent and destroying them real quick. Have you got to witness that yet?
Their own personal effects? Or?
Well, whatever it is. Like if I gave them a blanket, how long would they take care of it?
Not very long.
Okay. And the second it got wet, what would they do with it?
Throw it away, more than likely.
And go get another one, right?
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay, so that becomes an issue. So if you want to give somebody something that's going to last, and they're used to, oh, it gets wet, I'll just throw it away. Now, I have seen people out here with sleeping bags, and they try and take care of the sleeping bags, but it's kind of hard because of the way that they carry it. But those are people that are pushing around shopping carts and pulling suitcases behind them and stuff like that, because they have just sleeping bags that are just too big for them. Okay, so we've talked about homeless denial, and what have you learned? What having gone through the experience? You've been here for what, 3-4 months?
3 months.
No, probably a little bit longer than that.
3.5.
Okay, so you've been here for about 3.5 months, and in that 3.5 months, you've had time to prepare. You've been denying that you're homeless, and now that winter is here, and you're relying on somebody else to pay for your ticket. You're hoping that somebody will help you get to a warmer climate, and you didn't take the time to prepare. So if you were in that situation, if you had to give somebody advice, what would you tell them?
Well,
speak up.
I would probably tell them to be more prepared, to buy the items that you need just in case.
And can you rely on the services that are offered to the homeless to be able to get the necessary gear that you need to actually survive?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't, but you should be able to, but you can't.
Right.
You should be able to go, okay, I can go to this and they'll give me some gear, so therefore I can survive. Okay, so you look at the homeless and they're cold and they're wet and they're tired and they're angry, okay, because they're cold. And all of this is happening, right? And for what? For what? Because they're not offering you proper gear, because they know you're not going to take care of it. Or if they offer you something nice, how many people have you seen take something nice that they've either picked up, scavenged, or traded for, and then gone out or given to them and then taken it around and sold it? I mean, you get to see that type of stuff in there.
Well, there's guys in there that sell anything and everything.
So if you gave them something nice, do you think they would sell it or keep it?
They'd sell it.
Okay, so now not only can you not give them good gear, but not only will they not take care of the good gear, but what is it that you do? See, this is the real homeless. This is how it really is. This is the brutality of living this lifestyle, is to be able to is you're never going to be prepared. This is why some people say that the homeless can teach the preppers how to be preppers. Well, the only thing a homeless person can teach a prepper is how to prepare once they're unprepared and they're in the middle of the shit storm to begin with. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay, why?
Because the ones that have been out for a while, they've experienced it. They know what to do and what not to do, where to go, where not to go. Mm-hmm. They have the experience. Mm-hmm. So it would be a person to find someone that they mesh with to learn those survival skills from.
So you think that if you're newly homeless, okay, and you've embraced the fact that you're homeless, and now you're going to find a solution. Now that you're homeless, you think that you should find somebody that kind of shows you the ropes.
Exactly.
And how hard has it been for you to find somebody to do that? Most homeless will share their information, just nobody listens, right?
You're probably the only one
that shares
that has shared that information.
Oh, that has shared with you the true brutality, what it's really like, instead of telling you, oh yeah, it's great, it's fun, it's fantastic out here. Everybody should be out here, right?
Right.
Because that's what most people tell you.
Most people don't even talk about it.
It just is.
Yeah. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. We're hope things get better. And nobody.
Do you think that they've embraced being homeless, or do you think they're still in denial?
They're probably still in denial.
No, they've embraced it.
You think so?
Yeah, because in denial, they'd still be trying to call themselves transients.
Oh, well.
Okay.
Huh.
In denial, they would be complaining like, I wasn't allowed to use the break room microwave to heat up my tea. That's somebody who's in denial. They don't understand.
Really?
Yeah. That you're into. Hey man, I gotta razz you about that one. That one still baffles me that going down that route. But at the same time, somebody who has accepted it, their mentality is like, okay, well, that's their break room. It's not mine. If they're kind enough to let me use it, because I saw a lady when I was over to visit you this weekend, okay. I saw a lady, she let somebody do it, but it was the lady that did it, and she's like, here, she offered. The guy didn't ask. She offered. And the thing is, you'll learn being out here is that you don't ask for things. The more you ask for the things, the less you get. When you let people offer it to you on their own accord, that's generally when you get the good stuff. That's when you usually get the kindness. And I think that that's something that's missed. Somebody who is in denial about being homeless, one of the big things that they're going to do is they kind of have that sense of entitlement, because they think, oh, well, the homeless, they live all this cush lifestyle, and they listen to all the propaganda about how good we have it out here, not knowing the true reality. So when it doesn't show up, they're in shock. Okay, and that's part of the denial, because once you've accepted it, you understand nobody cares about you. Nobody, the fact that you exist is an issue for most of the public to begin with, because they look at you as a drain on them, a drain on their wallet, and you are deteriorating and degrading society, and they do not like you. For that reason. That's why here in Cincinnati, you're lucky that these people treat you as nice as they do, because you go to the rest of the country. You go to New Mexico, they're not going to be nice to you. You go to New Mexico, you're going to be in the desert, which that winter is going to be colder. It's going to be a different type of cold, but it is colder. 1, 2, also, you got to realize the limited amount of shelters. You are lucky to be able to get into a shelter because it was summer. Now that summer's up, now you're seeing how hard it really is to get into a shelter. Did you really need a shelter during the summer? No, it was warm outside. But now that it's getting cold, which do you need a shelter more, winter or summer?
Ideally, winter.
Okay, so now you can't get access to that, right? Okay, so that is the thing that you're missing, or the thing that I've been trying to point out to you, is that you come in thinking, okay, I get in a shelter now, I should be able to get in a shelter all the time, and it doesn't work that way. You came into the shelter system when it was wide open, and it still wasn't wide open because there was a lot of struggling to be able to get a place, which tells me, because normally there would be like 2/3 of that shelter in any other normal summer, 2/3 of that shelter would have been empty all summer long. as full as that was, that tells you how much the homeless population is exploding, because that, and how many newly homeless, because most of those people that are out there, they're still grasping with the fact that they're homeless. They're still trying to accept it instead of and come to their own terms to understand the situation in which they're going in. Okay. So with that being said, you came out in the right time, and that should have been the time that you're preparing. Instead, you did not. And now that it's that time of year, how are you doing now? I mean, because you're relying on charity. If that guy doesn't buy your ticket, you're stuck here all winter, and then in a couple more weeks, you're out of a shelter. Then what?
Well, then I'm
up shit creek.
Scrambling.
Yeah. Okay. So do you now have regrets that you didn't prepare?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So that is the video for today. Don't regret not being prepared. Whatever it is that you do, you're going to have to be prepared for. Thank you for watching. You know how to help the channel. Become a subscriber. Actually, if you really want to help the channel, so when I was trying to get monetized, it was about subscribers and watch time. But now that I'm monetized, now it's about views. So take the time, share this, leave a comment, leave a like, engage with the content, because then that helps push me out into the rest of the algorithm. If you want to help the channel out in other ways, you want to help me out in other ways, you can always go down in the description. Everything's down there. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.